Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum. We're back with another Monday morning musing with my co-host JR from Horror Fiend TV.
Hey, hopefully you guys have a good week. Monday sucked, but a better way to start a Monday than with us.
That's right. Talking about random horror things.
And coffee.
Just pretty much my everyday. Consistently so. Yeah, so today we are going to be talking about what our favorite subgenre of horror is.
It's gonna be good.
And we're definitely going to keep it at exactly 15 minutes. No more. Okay, so on the count of three, you want to say what your favorite subgenre is?
Let's do it.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Found footage. How could you not like it?
Yeah, that's true.
And if you hate it, get out of horror.
Yeah. Well, it's like, it used to be like, I felt like the most hated subgenre. Like everyone hated it for so long and no one, would give it a chance, everybody was like, oh, I've seen Cloverfield and that was enough. And I'm like, oh, all right. But then I've noticed recently that ever since Shudder did the found footage phenomenon documentary, like a lot more people are trying to come up with found footage lists and like watch more found footage. And I'm like, okay.
That's a good documentary for sure. I mean, that documentary did highlight a lot of the ones I like, and I mean, the ones everybody likes. But I mean, just because you see it on there, though, there's plenty of found footage to watch. I mean, there's so many that are not even talked about.
Yeah, so my first found footage movie was Blair Witch Project. I saw it like way after the fact, after it had been out for a long time. And I kind of forgot about found footage for a long time. And then I saw Paranormal Activity. And after I saw Paranormal Activity, that was when I was like, I really do like this way, And so I started watching more. And then now there's just access to so much more, especially with Tubi in particular. And a lot more creators just getting out there and making it. So there's so much of it now. But did you start with Blair Witch or did you start with something else?
I started with Blair Witch, and then from there was that gap, and then came out Paranormal Activity, and then came out the copycat Paranormal Entity, and then came one of my favorite all time, The Grave Encounters.
Yeah.
So you have three different. For me, Grave Encounters, it goes up there with Blair Witch and Paranormal Activity, because Blair Witch threw the whole folklore of the forest. Paranormal Activity threw basically possession inside of a home.
Yeah.
And Grave Encounters through actually exploring these haunted sites and catching things that you want to catch, but eventually come back to bite you in the ass for catching.
Yeah, Grave Encounters caught me off guard. It's a very B film. Budget wasn't huge. These are not super famous people. Like, I mean, I went into it because the way it starts. I'll be careful with spoilers in case anybody hasn't seen it. But like the way that it started, I was like, I don't know, like this is like. But then when it gets to the point where shit hits the fan, it's kind of like, okay, like they did a lot with what they had, and I really loved Grave Encounters. It actually like I'm trying to remember when I saw it. It had only been out for like a year or two by the time I saw it, but I love Grave Encounters. That's a really good one.
The funny thing too is the guys who made it, Vicious Brothers, only made 2 movies ever: Grave Encounters 1 and 2, and that's it. They haven't made anything afterwards. Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. When Grave Encounters came out, after Grave Encounters came out, you had other stuff like Troll Hunter. You had the one you like, Monster Project.
Why'd you say it like that?
No, I watched that. I said the one you like. I was just trying to see if you would say Monster Project.
I love the Monster Project. That's inevitably going to come up. That's a really good one. Of course, that one came out a lot later. That one came out in 2017. But I remember seeing. I did see Cloverfield, and I know there are plenty of people who like Cloverfield. I want so badly to like it, but I couldn't get through. Like it's a rough watch from the way that it is shot, and I think one of the things that works better is I feel like we've gotten better with our technique of camera holding, so it still looks real, but we're not making people throw up.
Yeah, then you had the folklore stuff, the Bigfoot found footage. You know, your favorite one, Willow Creek.
You're gonna get me in trouble with all the Willow Creek fans. Yeah, I hated that one. I did like Exist though. Exist is a really good found footage Bigfoot movie. That one looked good. But I also like, and I know like we've talked about this before. I know I talked about this on the found footage live that I did, but like it just allows for people to come in and make films that may not have been able to do any other type of film, like may not have been able to get their foot in the door, may not have been able to make a movie that they wanted to make. And I think it's like I have like such a new appreciation for the process by watching found footage, because it's just so different from the other stuff. And I definitely agree with like all of the other subgenres. Like there's so much of it. Like, and I think it's interesting because you can watch found footage but still get like, you know, all these other things that you like: creature features, ghost, people. There's found footage movies about just people. Like that's really good. And I think like when you're talking about like found footage and or subgenres and growth, found footage has come a long way. And now, and one of the things that I love is this addition of talking about like content creating and found footage, and talking about like all of this this new technology that they can now use to add to it. We're no longer seeing found footage movies with just one camera. We're seeing security camera footage, we're seeing drones, we're seeing other cameras, small cameras that are put in random places. And I love that. I think it makes all of it. It just goes to show that like there's still new creativity, new things to do, even with a subgenre that a lot of people originally thought was pretty limited. The first one I saw that utilized content creating was Monster Project, because they're YouTube. It's a YouTube channel. Like he's like, oh yeah, we're getting hits on this video. Like let's do this project, and then that's where the movie just kind of like goes off in like another thing. And that one's not based off of like, well, never mind, that's a spoiler, I won't say that. But yeah, like I really like this concept of content creating being used, because I feel like, you know, I mean, we see videos all the time of content creators going too far, people who are trying to get likes and views doing things that are disrespectful or harmful or shitty, and adding it to like found footage and using that as a way to tell a story, I think is really smart.
Yeah, even like to the point where you have the found footage that's documentary style, which is one of my favorites. Like
I love that too. Yeah, that's one of my favorites too.
Hell House LLC, the fact that the first, I think, 5 to 10 minutes of the movie was all documentary style before you finally dive into the movie.
Lake Mungo, the whole movie is documentary.
Lake Mungo, then you had it's hard to find right now, that Atticus Institute, which takes a whole government project about how the government is trying to control a possessed person in order to use them for a weapon.
You told me about that one. Why didn't I watch that? Did I not find it?
It's nowhere to stream, and yeah, I think you got to pay for it too.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. And I think like one of the other things I really like about found footage, because I'm not like a super big fan of like little happy like tie the bow at the end endings where everything works out magically, wonderfully happy. I like it. I mean, just kill everybody. Like I'm good with that. And found footage tends to have more endings like that, as far as like as a subgenre as a whole. Like it tends to have the endings that are like that leave you unsettled way after the movie is over. And I really like that, because it's like it's one of my favorite things about horror. If it can linger, it's doing the right thing. And I feel like for me, found footage does that more often than other subgenres.
Oh, it does, and it's nothing like you could take 5 found footages, sit down, and let's say you take one subject by aliens, and all 5 are going to be different.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, and that's what I like about it. I mean, anything like I watched. What was it like? Apartment 143 is another one.
That one was good too.
Apartment 143 didn't get enough attention because it came out the same time as Paranormal Activity. So Paranormal Activity took all the attention away from
I
the
didn't
film.
know that came out at the same time.
So this is another thing that found footage does. It brings in the emotional standpoint of the characters, like Mom, Mother of Monsters. That movie is just it's twisted, but certain movies leaves you wondering, all right, which one of these people are crazier than the other?
They do have to rely on things like story and emotion and background and lore for the ones that aren't just about people. And I think that that's when horror is like at its peak, when you can make someone genuinely care about what's going on, where I'm not just looking for scares. I genuinely feel for this family, or I'm like cheering for this person, or I hate this character. Like, then that's all like part of doing it right.
Yeah, and then you have the ones that really like you're sitting there like, wow, am I really watching this? Like the Kipsy tapes.
I second guessed myself
Yes.
so much in that movie. Just goes to show like the effort that like goes into these, because I've definitely heard people talk about found footage like it's a lazy concept, and it's not.
No, it's
Like it takes a lot of work to make found footage look as good as it does. Like a lot of work.
yeah, because you have to take it and just try to. You have to be different from everybody else, regardless.
Yeah.
And that's the tricky part is you like you could take a movie like Creep. Now, Creep is you have a mixed bag. Some people like it, some people hate it. It's a cool concept where a guy hires people to basically hang out with him, but it's it is creepy in a way. It does. There's certain aspects of the film that where he puts a werewolf mask. That's just. I'm sorry, I would have been gone. But at the same time, that's what found footage does. It puts you in these situations. Like, all right, what would you do if you have a camera and you're in that location? Exactly, what would you do? Yeah, for me too is like there is a lot of international found footage, and I know people get turned off by, oh, I don't want to recast, I don't want to recast.
You're missing out.
Yeah, one thing you're missing out, and two is like sometimes the the caps, the dialogue really doesn't mean much in the film. I mean, that's the good advantage about found footage is you can have dialogue, but it's the surroundings and the environment that have more say in the actual film than the actual conversations.
Yeah.
That makes sense, and that's one of the good things about you can have crappy dialogue and still have good scenes, and it'll be a successful found footage.
That's true. I agree.
Watch found footage.
Much more of it. Yeah.
Oh, we forgot one film we didn't talk about, which you should watch this if you guys get a chance. The Taking of Deborah Logan.
I love that one. That's a really good one.
Yeah. But it's a good film. It's crazy and it has one of the most twisted endings you'll ever see in a film ever.
It's good.
So, yeah, that's it. I think of that right now is streaming on Prime and Shudder.
What do you think is like your favorite subgenre of found footage? Like your favorite type of found footage to watch?
I like I like locations. I mean, I like when people go somewhere to do investigations, and
Hmm.
I mean, Grave Encounters, Ganja. I like the butterfly effect. That's the one.
Kisses,
Yes, I mean
butterfly
butterfly
kisses.
kisses. Yes, that one was good too. But for me, anything if you mix paranormal and folklore, you got me,
Yeah.
because those are the fact that you get the backstory of what these legends are, and then you actually get to see. Now, granted, it's not always the best special effects graphics, but you're not there for the special effects graphics. You're there just to feel the fact that you're part of this documentary. And how many
Yeah.
times have you watched a found footage where you actually go on Google and start investigating and seeing if this is real?
Plenty of times, especially when I was watching the Poughkeepsie tapes.
What about you? Which is the one that you think that is your favorite subgenre?
If there were more of them, I would probably pick like monster ones, like creature features. There's just not there. They exist, but I've only seen a couple that I've been like blown away with, like the Monster Project. So I'm gonna say probably paranormal ghost ones. Those are just the ones that get me. Although I guess a close second would be like possession ones, like ones about like The Devil Inside. Have you seen that one?
I've seen The Devil Inside.
I love that one.
The
Devil
last,
Inside, The Taking of Michael King, I'm sorry, The Possession of Michael King, The Taking of Deborah Logan, like all of I'm changing it. It's Possessions. That's my favorite one.
I think there's the other one too. Is The Last Crucifixion.
The Last Exorcism.
No, this is. I gotta find.
Well, The Last Exorcism is one as well. That's about possession. That's found footage. I think Eli Roth did that one. I really liked that one. I even liked the sequel, which really surprised me. Yeah, I'm gonna go Possession.
Hey, watch found footage. I mean, you guys, if you haven't watched found footage, start getting into it because even the bad ones that are kind of good for some reason. I mean, they could be really bad, but for some reason you'll sit there and watch the whole thing. You're like, all right, this sucked, but I kind of like this. I kind of like this. I hated this, but they're fun to watch. I love found footage.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely my favorite subgenre of horror.
Awesome.
I agree.
I'm gonna go watch one after this.
Our 15-40 minute episode. It's hard. It's hard to like get it all in like one thing. Like,
what's found footage? I mean,
so yeah, that's our favorite subgenre. It's the same one. Spoiler alert. But it's the best. So
start watching it, or I won't watch it.
it's the hoodie that makes it believable, right?
It does, doesn't it?
Okay, well, that's this episode of Monday Morning Musings. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great, spectacular Monday. A good rest of the week.
And horror.
That's right. 2 best things in the whole world. Cool.
I'm ready on coffee too.
Yeah. So, JR and I will be back in 2 weeks with another Monday Morning Musing. So, see you guys then.